Welcome, everyone, to Elevate with V. I'm so excited to be here with you. This podcast was inspired by my own healing journey. I aspire to share amazing, inspiring souls to help us each elevate on our journey so we can keep aligning with our soul's calling and gifts. I can't wait to introduce my guest today, Adewale. We connected on Clubhouse over a year ago, and we would pop into some of the same spaces. And I remember having a mini Akashic reading and felt this deep soul remembrance that we have known each other from some parallel lifetimes. So I'm so excited to have him join me today. Adewale's official bio is he is a Universal Akasha Channeler who has been channeling the records since he was 3 years old. He uses numerology, astrology, and sacred geometry to help ground the information. He channels from the Akasha field. He has the ability to trance channel, is a light language speaker, and also takes people on shamanic journeys through their Akasha to guide people to remember more of who they are. He has been helping people understand what is their role here on earth so we can fully bring heaven on earth as collective consciousness. Now, just so you all know, this is not the full bio. It'll be shared everywhere that this podcast gets shared, so you can go and read the full bio. But welcome, Adewale.
Thank you. Thank you for that amazing bio. Thank you for the introduction, and I'm excited to connect today.
Yay, I love it. All right, we are just going to jump in.
Let's get it.
In your bio, you said that you were tapping into the Akashic record since you were 3 years old. Come on, tell us more about this.
I would love to. So, with my upbringing, I was very unique in my own way. So, when I was about 3 years old, I wasn't a kid that I wouldn't say I didn't have friends, but I had my own way of other friends. And how I would do this, mind you, no one taught me this, was all just unconsciously. I will make action figures. So I'll show one just right now, as in I will get some paper and I would create action figures. And when I'm creating action figures, it's like it will get me into the moment. It get me into the millisecond. And it would tap me into my creation energy. And I will feel the sensation through my body. And I will be just so happy. And then I will make an action figure as I'm making right now. And then I will play. And when I will play, I will create things in my mind's eye. So it would look something like this. I will make these action figures, and sometimes I would make them like Michael Jackson because I loved Michael Jackson. So they will be Michael Jackson beings, and I will be dancing, and I will be fighting, or there'll be like Power Rangers. And these were things that I was doing from 3 to 13 that it did feel very weird. It did feel very unique that you would go into class like, hey, do you guys do this? But you didn't see nobody doing it. So you would self-reflect like, well, what the heck am I doing? Am I weird? Am I crazy? So these were things that I was doing that it made me tap into my creation energy as a kid. And it kept me not bored ever. And then throughout around 13, I shut these gifts down, and then I went on another level, my journey of playing football.
Wow, I love it. Well, let me ask you this. Are you an only child? Did you have siblings? Like you, even if you're playing in your room or whatever, was this just kept to yourself? You didn't share with anybody else?
So I have siblings. I have a big sister, I have a little brother, and I have a big brother. And they would do their own thing. It's just something that I did by myself. Like I would go in my room and I would create things. Even if I went to daycare, I will put these in my sleeves, be in a corner, and they would even say at daycare, my mom would tell me, like, they would tell you, don't bring that to daycare. And I would still bring it. I would tuck it in my sleeve because it was me tapping into, and now since I'm older, it was me tapping into who I was. It was me tapping into my godlike self.
Wow, I love that so much. Okay, you've already kind of tapped into what I was going to ask you about. So then you kind of move into this whole other arena of becoming a football player. And what's interesting is I remember, in your bio on your website saying that that actually led you into your spiritual awakening, or your spiritual awakening kind of happened alongside. So please share about that. What was that experience all about?
Yes. So football, I'll tell you the younger me, and then I'll tell you how it got into the spirituality. So the younger me in football, around where I told you guys I went out my gifts around 13. This is around the time I moved to a new school, a new district, and I started connecting with more different people. As in, when I say people, it wasn't more dominantly Black, it was more Black, white, Asian, was very diverse school. So I had to kind of adapt because I was used to being with more dominantly Black people, that it made me feel like I couldn't be myself in those ways of how I used to do these creative things. I went into an energy that, like, I wanted to be accepted. That me wanting to be accepted, it was me not knowing myself. So it actually changed my consciousness. It even changed how I even spoke to people. I felt like at times it was easy for me to really connect with anyone. But then when I went into the energy that I wanted to be accepted, it was hard to communicate with certain different types of people. But football came into the picture. In my middle school, they had a football team, and I loved it. And me falling in love with this, I became skinny, and that was my dream. And I became obsessed with football. Like, I watched football every single day. I rode my bike to practice. That's who I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to be. And that was my whole existence. Then throughout those times from high school, college, after college, something significant happened. It was in 2018. So the beginning of that year was 2019. In 2018, that's when I ended my year of football. We was top 25 in the nation. My quarterback in my school played for the Green Bay Packers right now. We was a really good team. It was the best time of my life of getting into football. And then I moved to LA in January 2019. And my mom, she told me, you should get a spiritual reading. And I was like, what is a reading? I didn't know mind you, my foundation of God was Jesus, Christianity at that time. So I wasn't really deeply conscious of like deeper than Jesus. That she told me get this reading. And when I got this reading, the lady told me something significant. She was like, a lot of people are called, few are chosen. You are chosen. I'm like, I don't know what that is or what that means, but okay. And she was telling me, like, you're here to create wealth. You're here to have wealth. You're going to have so much money that money's not going to be a thing. I'm like, I like what you're saying now. You're talking money. Money, okay. I'm like, and mind you, I'm like, how do you know this? You don't even know me. Like, mind you, I'm in LA, I'm in Los Angeles, California. And that kind of sparked things of, I'm going to be abundant. So I should never worry about money. So at that time, I did not worry about money. And at that time, me not worried about money, I didn't have like an NFL agent or someone helping me with my process of going to the NFL. That the money that I did have, I became broke within the next 2 months because that lady told me you're going to have so much money. I'm like, okay, so I don't have to worry about money. It's going to come. It has to come. And I became broke. I was training, I was doing all these things. The person that I was supposed to do stuff with ended up flaking on me. Like, it was a very, like, I was kind of stripped of everything. Could barely eat, could barely pay my trainer. And I had a group text with these some football players from Utah State, and they put this video of Stranger Secret by Earl Nightingale. And in the video, I'm like, I'm gonna just listen to it. Something told me I should listen to it. Mind you, at that time, while I was listening to that, I was living at my friend's house that I knew from St. Louis that lived in LA because I didn't really have a place to live. So, and they moved to a new place, but they had their old place and they was like, hey, you can stay here for 15 days, but after that, you got to figure it out. So my thought was, I'm going to listen to this video. What I got to lose? So I listened to this video and he said, we live in America, the land of the richest of them all. He said, why is man broke in reality? I'm like, okay. He said, man simply don't think. And I said, wait, hold up. Wait, what I'm curious. What you mean, man, don't think? You got me thinking now. I want what you gotta say. And he went on to talk about the law of attraction. And he went on to talk about what you think you become what you think. He said it's like quantum physics. If you on a roof and you jump down, you have to come down. The law of attraction works the same way. And the law of attraction don't care if you know it or not. It is always working. I'm like, this is it. It blew my mind. It opened my mind. I'm like, I never knew this. I never knew this. So that video, it was about 30 minutes. I became obsessed with that video. He said, I want you to do everything I tell you to do. And once it stopped working, stop doing it. So that's what I did. I literally did what he told me to do, as in I went into the energy of understanding the law of attraction. I went into the energy of kind of going down my spiritual path, and it got me to here. So that's a kind of a deep story of how it kind of started, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Wow, that is so fascinating. I do have to ask you, I'm really curious and surprised that your mom asked you to get a reading. Like, was she into any of the spiritual stuff? Like, how did that even happen?
And that's the thing, like my mom is a Christian foundation, but she's open. She's open to whatever gods have to say through other people and stuff like that. That I don't know why she would wanted me to get that, but she did. And I kind of feel like that was spirit giving her clarity to me to help me to understand who I was at that time, because I had no clue. Like I had no clue. That was in 2019. And if you to say 5 years later from now, I will be channeling the Akashic records and doing numerology, astrology, speaking a language that is light language, I probably would have looked at you and say, yeah, you're delusional. I think it's something wrong with you.
Absolutely. As they say, as we go along in this journey, there really are no coincidences, right? And that's part of it. That was your mom needed to bring you that message so that you could kind of step into that next place. And I love what you shared about, this journey that you went through where so many of us have been through it. Like there are many terms for it, but like people say dark night of the soul, where you literally get stripped down and you're like, whoa, what just happened? But it's almost kind of like it's kind of necessary for that to happen, for us to actually, like, I guess, open our eyes and be like, okay, hold on. What am I not seeing? What am I not recognizing? And I think it's really interesting that what you were sharing and how you were kind of like led and guided to that next thing. And then it became like the law of attraction and, diving into that. So kind of jumping forward a little bit, you didn't mention your bio, but I remember reading on the website that you had two near-death experiences. And I know one of them was fairly recent because I remember just seeing you post some stuff on social media. Now, I don't really necessarily want to go into like what necessarily happened, but I know that all of these things, it's like we have orchestrated these events in our life very purposefully. And for you, what was sort of the lesson or gift from these experiences? Or if you really feel very much that you want to share this specific incident, you can do that as well. But to me, I feel like it's really important to understand, like, why we've chosen some of these experiences and what are the gifts that come out of them. Even though it's really tough, I understand, like, that's people like,
Yeah.
what, that happened, that's awful. Yes, and there's a lot to navigate through, but then there's always a purpose.
Yes. So I will talk about both because I feel, excuse me, I feel like this needs to be told, and I feel like I'm at the vibrational energy to be vulnerable and humility about this, because people need to know this. Like, a lot of people don't even know deeply of what happened on my second near death experience, and I know it's people that are curious. So I want to speak about it. So the first one I want to talk about is the one that happened on June 26, 2015. I was in college. I was a freshman redshirt. So what that means is I was a true sophomore and I was a freshman on the field. And that was a big year for me. I was in a situation where I was in college for a year, getting into the transition of being a high school athlete and being a collegiate Division I athlete. It was a very deep transition for me, and I was starting to make a big shift. Before when that happened, I went home that year, and that was in January. And when I went home, my family didn't live at the house that they was living in. They was living in a smaller house. And when I came home, I had to sleep on the floor. And I did not like that. It put something inside me that I'm like, I'm going to change my life with this football, because I am not living like this. I'm not allowing my family to live like this. I'm sick of this. So I went back to school that spring, and I had a great spring ball. My coach at the end of the spring told me, hey, if you play like this, you're going to play next year. I'm like, I'm doing it. This is it. So I went home for May. Um, I met up with my brother, like my big brother that I haven't seen in a long time. He's my half brother. So I didn't see him in a long time. So he ended up saying how he wanted to do football. So I could tell like the universe was put in the field of this deep connection with football for me at that moment. That after that, I went back to Utah. I gained a lot of weight. Like, from when I went to Utah, say I was about 230. About that time, I was 250. So I was looking like a real dude. And my coaches was loving me. So I was in a month in of training, doing the summer training, and we had a workout that Friday. We had a 6 a.m. workout. 6 a.m. It starts at 6 a.m. And my teammates who played my same position was like, hey, we're about to go farming. We're about to go shoot some guns. At one of my teammates named Jordan Nielsen house. And I'm like, in my head, like, I am a black Midwest dude. I do not want to go do these. I don't do those things. But my head coach at the time used to say things that said everything matters. It all matters. So in my mind, I was like, you know what? I need to go because I don't want to be the outsider. I'm going to just go. But something in my body told me, you need to go home and go to sleep. But I didn't listen. So I went on. I went on to ride horses for the first time. I went on to shot guns for the first time. I had the time of my life. It was really dope. I'm like, I'm really glad I came. Then when we was about to go back into the Jordan Nielsen house to go eat pizza, I said, hey, let me know when we say Jordan house. I was in the middle of the truck and I went to sleep. I woke up, I was in the hospital. And when I woke up from that hospital, I didn't know what happened. There was a nurse there. She was cleaning my body. And I was like, what happened? And she was like, you was in a car accident. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? She's like, you was in a car accident. And I'm like, is everybody okay? She was like, yes. I'm like, will I play football this year? She was like, you're lucky to be alive. It broke me. It broke me. Everything that I trained for, everything that I worked for, the grit, the discipline, the consistency, it broke me. I'm like, I worked so hard. It it really broke me to my core that she told me it's going to be okay. You're alive. That's not what I wanted to hear, but I listened to that as you're alive. Then through that process, I had to learn how to walk again. I had fractured my hip, broke my ribs. I had a liver contusion. I had a concussion. I ended up finding out we got hit by a semi truck and we flew 70 yards away. We was in a suburban truck, but we're all like big, over 240-pound athletes. So I feel like that's why it didn't flip or everything. And one significant thing that was very surprising is nobody had their seatbelts on. And they told me if I had my seatbelt on, I would have died. I would have died from the resistance.
Wow.
So this was like very shocking that this happened. And throughout that process of going through that and process that mentally, I had to learn how to walk. I had to be in a wheelchair for a little bit. And that was spirit at that time sitting me down. I end up having, and it was about 4 years, 3 years ago of this date, of a shamanic journey happening of going back to that near-death experience. And I end up finding out from that near-death experience, you didn't listen to your intuition. We told you not to go. If you would have went, if you didn't go, if they went, what would have happened in football? Well, let's say they get in a car accident. Who would have played that year? You. And I was like, this is why this was a lesson that you have to listen to your intuition. You have to. And I thought about it. I was like, dang, if I would have played as a freshman, I would have played as a sophomore, I would have played as a junior, that would have changed my whole trajectory with football, that I could have went to the NFL. And it's because I didn't listen. So the spiritual awakening that I had was I had to become a baby and go back into that progress of my passion and my love. And that's what I did. I went all the way back down from 250 to 215. I lost a lot of weight. I gained it all back and gained even 10 pounds more. I wasn't able to play that season, but I was able to play the next season. Why was I able to play the next season? It was the sixth game of that year. I wasn't playing exactly how I wanted to, but I got an opportunity. They was like, hey, someone got hurt, go in. I used all that pain, all that anger, all that rage, all that drive, that determination on the play that I was on. I hit a dude, knocked him off his feet, and put him out the game. And that's how I start to play football. Why? What was the spiritual lessons behind this? This for me to see, how bad do you want it? You say you want to be in the NFL. You say you want to be a Division I player and play on the field. We're stripping you because, one, you didn't listen. And now, what are you willing to do now? So it took me to a different level of love of the game. It took me to a different level of really focusing on the mission, the purpose of what I feel like I'm here to do. And at that time, football was everything that I was. Football was everything that I wanted to be. So I was willing to do anything and everything for it, not just for me. It was for my family, because remember, I went home and I was sleeping on the floor. I did not want to experience that again. I did not want to see my mom not in a situation where she could be free. I did not want to be in a situation where my sister and my family couldn't be free. So I was willing to have that be my why and focus on my dream and my purpose in this earthly reality from that first near-death experience.
Wow, that is really powerful, Adewale. I can't believe that through those injuries that you ended up like not only recovering, but like coming back and, kind of having this, I guess it's some sense, I don't know what other word to use, but just this like kind of glory and inspiration to just be like, I got it. I got the message. And now I'm even more driven and more aligned and more on purpose with what I want to do. So I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing. And, it's really interesting because everyone has a slightly different experience when it comes to like near death experiences. So I really enjoy kind of hearing like what you receive from that situation, because a lot of times it's also about getting redirected, because you're going down a path that, yes, you get to
Yeah.
choose, we have free will, but they're like, I think it might be better if you leaned into this direction. And
Yeah.
so something happens, right? Something really major and dramatic.
Absolutely. I agree because I know the biggest lesson for that first near-death experience was I feel like if I would have listened and did the football, if I would have got that NFL money and that exposure to the NFL, it would have probably put me down a different path. I probably didn't want to be as spiritual. Why would I? I got money. I'm why would I want to really? So I knew that was a preparation for me to delay me of that's not what you're supposed to do. It's not what you're supposed to do. That the second near-death experience happened after that. And that happened this year. I mean, not this year, last year. And that near-death experience, I went to Tijuana, Mexico to see my daughter. Um, I wasn't able to see my daughter because of the near-death experience. I was in an Airbnb. I was with my friend named Christian, such a beautiful soul. And what happened was we was in this Airbnb. We was there for like 2 or 3 days. I was going on a 5-day fast, water fast that I was planning. We went, and that was happening Monday. So Monday, around that Monday, this is the near-death experience happened on May 24th. It happened that Monday will be May 22nd. And my friend was telling me, she was like, hey, I'm about to go to sleep. She had me watch this guy named Leo Kingdom, who was like an astrologist, but he was a DJ. And she was like, yo, I feel like you can kind of do that. I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope. Let me kind of tap into this. Let me kind of just observe this. And I was like, hey, I'll come to sleep like in an hour. I'll see you in the morning. So I watched that for about maybe 45 minutes. And then I went to sleep. And when I went to sleep, I woke up on Wednesday. Mind you, I went to sleep on Monday. I woke up on Wednesday. And when I woke up, I was very out of it. I felt like I wasn't myself. And when I woke up, my friend transitioned. My friend ended up dying in her sleep. This was very traumatic at that moment because I never seen a dead body like that. So I had to kind of be very calm about that situation because I didn't know what to do. So I end up calling the police. Mind you, we in Tijuana, I don't speak Spanish. They couldn't understand me. They hung up the phone. I went downstairs, tried to get somebody to help me. They closed the door. So I was kind of freaking out. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, and I don't even know what happened. And end up doing something, as in, you know what? Let me think, let me sit, and I'm gonna figure it out. I lit an incense. The incense was Moldavite. It was a Moldavite incense. I lit it. Boom, bomb. It blew up in my face and blew up 2 stories. I had to run for my life. Like literally, like it burned all my clothes. It burned everything. When I say everything, everything. So I went outside to run out, get me burned. Then I went upstairs to like go get my phone because I left my phone upstairs. So I went to go get my phone. and I was done burning, and I went back downstairs because about that time the ambulance was here. It blew up 2 stories. And I heard a voice said, "This is your testimony." And I was burned 70%. 3rd degree, I lost my face. No, like I wasn't, nothing was broken, but I was burnt, like really burnt. And I lost the ability to walk because I was laying down in the hospital for so long, for 2 days. And they really wasn't taking care of me in Mexico that I felt like I was kind of dying. And then they took my phone away from me. So I couldn't even really hit up my mom and anybody to tell them what really was going on. But
Wow.
I was in a hospital where other patients was in the room with me. And I was kind of freaking out of like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do. He said, hey, this was a Mexican guy. He speak English. He said, hey, I'm gonna say this to you. I seen people like you. If you do not have your mind right now, this can kill you. This will hurt you. You need to stay focused on you right now. You focus on you. That's the best thing you could do. So what I did at that time, I listened to him and I thought that was God speaking through him. And I was like, I need to just sit, breathe, be present, and know that I am. And that's what I did. Mind you, all these thoughts could have went in my mind. My friend just died. I don't know. And at that time, I didn't know if she was really, I didn't, I was hoping she wasn't dead. Um, I didn't see my daughter. The mother of my child don't even know what happened. I barely told my mom. My mom, I did call my mom that morning, as in, Mom, I'm kind of out of it. I don't know what's going on. And then I told her about the situation with Christian. I was like, but let me call you back. I need to call the police, boom, boom, boom. But she didn't know about the fire. So it was very mentally, mentally challenging. I had to really focus my mind of my healing, because if I did not focus on my healing, I would not be here today. I would not be able to tell my story. I would not be able to speak for Christian. So I had to get into the energy of really harnessing the energy from within. So that's what I did. And then eventually, from that near-death experience, I never had an energy of like, why me? I had an energy, why not me? I know that I'm still here in this reality for a reason. So since I'm here in this reality, that means I'm here to do something. That voice told me that I have a testimony. Now, was my human like, what do you mean testimony? I just was birthed. How is this a testimony? But now, with me being where I'm at today, I see that it was being calm in chaos. I was learning calmness in chaos. That me being that calmness and chaos, I did some things while I was in that near-death experience. While I was healing, I would see myself every single morning, because at that time I was big about DJing. I was big about channeling. And my friend Christian, she's an astrologer. So this is why I even do astrology right now, because it's a remembrance of my friend. And what I did every morning, I played this song by Earth, Wind, and Fire called Fantasy. And I manifested my reality. I seen it. I felt it. I see me on stages. I see me dancing. I see me DJing. I see myself doing it. I see myself embodying it every single morning. That now I DJ. Now I'm speaking in front of people. Now I'm in Toastmasters doing public speaking. Everything that I created from the near-death experience, I am now experiencing physically. That it showed me my power. It showed me God. It showed me so many things of this experience wasn't happening to you. It was happening for you. And when it comes to your friend Christian, they told me she wanted to exit. She was ready to transfer. Her lesson she learned on earth is completed. And they even showed me in the Akashic records how it was written into records for this to happen exactly how it happened. So it wasn't me doing anything bad. It wasn't me doing anything good. It was me going by design, going by the flow, and boom, to bring me into another level and a new level of who I am as Adewale that you're speaking to today.
Wow. Oh my God. That is quite an experience. And, the thing that's most interesting is that you were in a place that is not familiar, language barriers, and so many other things, right? It's like almost all of these things that you could look at, it's all working against you, right? But like you said, again, someone was able to get you a message that you needed to hear while you're laying there, and you took it to heart, and you're like, okay, I got it. This is what I need
Yes,
to do. And I think this is the beauty of, if we're open and we're listening, we get to choose how we want to experience something. And I can't even begin to imagine, just based on what you shared about the degree of the burns and what happened, and for you to be sitting in front of me. I mean, nobody would look at you and say that you went through that experience, right? I was like,
absolutely.
what?
Yeah,
And this was just like less than a year ago. We're like, still in April, and this happened like May of last year. I mean, that is truly, I mean, it's miraculous to some degree, right? Because you chose it, you created in your mind what you wanted. It reminds me a little bit of, how I think it's like Joe Dispenza, who, also went through something where he literally was envisioning himself being healed, because everything outside him was like, I mean, good luck. I mean, we can only help you so far. And
absolutely.
I know you go from like not even being able to walk to literally like creating your dream life.
Literally. And that's the biggest thing that it really helped me to see of like, you are everything already. You already everything already. So now start creating. And that's what I did. I started seeing myself creating. Just because I'm on the hospital bed, that doesn't mean that I have to stop creating. So that's what I did. I kept creating and I used sacred geometry. I love sacred geometry. So I brought in the flower of life in my body. And I manifested that. I manifested myself healing. I felt myself healing. I felt myself walking again. That when the hospital doctor came to me, she looked at me, was like, "You're 70% healed." But it looked, her eyes was like, "I did not expect this." It was like almost godly. And it's because I was tapping into my God from within that my gifts even activated too. Like I start seeing myself underwater with the Akashic records. I start to see myself like Professor X, like in X-Men, of how he would go into, I forgot what that place is, but it's like a place he would go and he can see everybody's mind. I go to a place like that now. So even my gifts, it went to a different level. And they helped me to see, they was like, your skin is burnt off. They said, we want you to think of this as a snake. When a snake peel, he's reborn. New skin, new cells, new you. This is a new level of you to help show humanity that they can create anything from nothing and create something. And this is what my whole life has been. I've been down. I've been broke. I've been in that darkness and I kept moving to the light. But what it wasn't avoiding the darkness, it was embracing the darkness, going through the darkness so I can see the light. And that is the law of one consciousness. That's the Holy Trinity consciousness that we're all integrating in this planetary shift right now. And this is something that's been happening for me, not just from these two near-death experience. Because if you know any of my old friends, they would be like, yo, that dude Wale been through some things. Like when I say things, like things that you wouldn't think anybody would go through, I will go through. My first D1 workout, I didn't even finish the workout. I didn't even finish the workout. Like I went through so many, in high school, even how I got the scholarship offer to Utah State, I got it a week before signing day, a week before signing day. Like I ended up having a lot of offers and did not having none. So it kept bringing me into, you are everything. And if you think you are nothing, you can become something. And then once you become something, you see that you are everything. And this was me and my POV of Adewale of, you are everything. You are, I am.
Yes. And it was so interesting when you were sharing the story. Like I kept getting Phoenix Rising. Like when you were kind of sharing, like I was just like, yes, it's like the Phoenix Rising. It's like literally fire. And then you just kind of emerge out and say, okay, I'm leaving that shell behind and I'm ready to step into the new uh,
Yes,
creation, right? Because we are powerful creators if we choose to look at it that way. So
absolutely.
I really actually appreciate you sharing and feeling the call to share both of the experiences, because the message is, very similar. It's like, we each navigate through some, we perceive them as very, very dark experiences. Um, but in going through them and navigating through them, it's almost like that's when you can transmute and make that into your light. You get to choose, because we know there are a lot of people who don't
Yes,
want to go down that path because it is work. It does take
yes.
work, and you got to look at yourself, all of yourself,
All of yourself.
good, the bad, the ugly, however you want to say it. But in doing that, that's when we get to see the gifts, right? That's when we really get that inner standing of like, wow, now that I look back, I see all the lessons, I see all of these things that I went through, but it's bringing me to this place where I'm sitting now. And I've created this, I've chosen and I've created this. And it's so empowering.
Absolutely. It was like almost a movie of these experiences that I went through. And I'm so grateful that God allowed me to go through these things, because it's really the reflection, like the Matrix, the red pill, the blue pill. You have the choice. You want to be in truth or you want to be in distortion. It's up to you. You want to be in full truth, full knowing, or you want to be in distortion. And I felt like I kept taking the blue pill. Truth, truth, truth. Show me the truth. Even from not near-death experiences, because I've been through some near-death experience through plant medicine too. As in, show me the truth of who I am. Show me that what I'm not seeing that I have to see. Show me if I'm in my ego. Show me my darkness that I don't want to see, but I need to see so I can embrace and transmute it into a different frequency. And these are the things that I feel like God did with me deeply. And I'm only 28 years old. But from these experiences, I feel like I'm 88. I went through some experiences, but this is why I have the resiliency that I have and the spiritual integrity to move and embody this frequency, because I went through the trials and the tribulations from my own human experiences.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And I think the thing that's so important, what I've learned from my own journey, is in us going through these experiences and coming to those lessons, it's almost like now when we share, like people really connect, because it's like, I have lived through these things, I understand part of your journey, and there's something that connects us in a way that's so powerful, right? And it's being able to share these experiences and stories with each other, because you never know what's going to resonate with someone, what's going to be like an aha moment for someone. I mean, there could be someone right now who's in a hospital bed, like thinking like, I don't know, what is tomorrow going to look like? And they listen to this message and they're like, whoa, hold on. This is possible. This is possible. I can choose this. I can have this happen. So, I think that's the beauty of it. It's like once we've sort of gone through and navigated through these things, there's so many beautiful things that we get to share with others, in addition to our own personal growth and being on purpose and being aligned. And I loved what you said about being willing to say, show me those things that I still need to work on. What do I still need to work on? Show them to me because I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. And that's not something that a lot of people would invite into their space, but I think it's incredibly powerful to do that. So I love that you shared that. And so I'm going to kind of come back to, you know, you said that you just had a lot, again, a lot of gifts kind of get activated while you were going through this process. And I think sometimes it's also about the universe forcing us to get like quiet and have nothing around us to sort of interfere with the process. And you get that time to really go inwards. So was this when you really started to kind of reconnect with your gifts of being able to tap into the Akashic records? Did you take any formal classes, or you just were like, I'm into this?
So are you, so when you're saying that, you're saying like from, I accessed it when I was a kid, what got me back into the Akashic records again?
Well, I think when you said when you had the latest experience,
Yes.
you were like you're experiencing, you're like suddenly you're going underwater and you're seeing like the records, or you were starting to connect in a deeper way, right?
Yes.
And so was that kind of what took you into this? I am now like somebody who can read the Akashic records for other
Yes.
people.
So what happened was, before the near-death experience, I was channeling for the Akashic records. However, I think I still had some doubt, as in, am I really doing what I'm supposed to do? Like, and it was just so unicorn and taboo that like it was hard for my human to really get online. Like, I could do this at a deep aspect and make good money like this. Like, because I had visions of me charging a good amount of money for my sessions, and but it's like, is that possible? Is that my ego? Is that my monkey mind? However, this near-death experience has showed me, from, I think it was the fourth day of the experience where I got into San Diego. So first I was in the hospital in Tijuana, and then they moved me into San Diego. And once I moved to San Diego, I was in a different headspace. And once I was in that different headspace, the Akashic records underwater start to come through. And when the records came underwater, they were telling me that you're going through a different shift. You're going through a deeper layer of you. Because when I think it was that Tuesday when you were asleep, you brought new codes from the spiritual realm and brought them to this human realm. So now you're going through an integration progress of this new DNA, these new Akashic records, that like basically like a person who's a baby right now, the energy that they have as a baby when they come in, and because these kids who are open right now, they're open, really open. I have that same ability as them, as I was just a baby, because I went to a death rebirth. I actually did die in a different reality. Like, I literally did die in a lower reality. But in a higher reality, I made the decision. I'm going to come back. I'm coming back. So since I'm coming back, I'm coming in with some new energy. I'm coming with some new codes. I'm coming with some new light frequency to bring, not just for myself, but to bring for all.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love how you tied that in, because that's what I was trying to understand. It's like what I'm understanding is that, we have, people will talk about it in many different ways. It's like, oh, my past life, my this life. I'm like, yes, but my understanding is everything is happening at the same time, right?
Yes,
So we have so many parallel versions of ourselves in all different densities and dimensions. And it's almost like you have integrated another multi-dimensional aspect of you that can bring in some of that higher frequency information because you're ready and you wanted that,
correct,
you chose it. So
correct.
that's how I see it. It's like that's what you
Yes,
wanted to bring in, and we truly all have the capacity to do this, but we have to do the work, like you said, because the human part of us is like, oh, am I making this up? Am I capable? Can I really do this? Am I that gifted? Am I that special? All of these things come up, and we got to work through all of those things in order to allow that piece of us to come in and integrate.
Yes, I love this. I want to stay here because I want to talk about something that I feel like people who are listening really need to hear. One thing that I had to learn with my gifts is with these Akashic records and these deep, powerful gifts, it can show you a lot. You could do a lot in that. However, if you're not integrated in your human, it can put you through a psychosis. If you're not embodying from your child and done the work, you will go back into inner child trauma. So it's really intentional. And I want to say very expressly, make sure you guys are doing the work. Make sure you go through the dark, go through it, acknowledge it, observe it, fall in love with it, and then move. Okay, I know what this is. I know, not, I don't really like this. Why you don't like it? Why? Sit right there for 5 minutes. Why you don't like this dark energy that you're seeing from yourself? Why you don't like that dark energy that you're feeling from that other? Why? Why is it triggering you? Is it you as well? These are the things that people don't want to do. People want to be a Joe Dispenza. People want to be a Billy Carson. People want to be a Dr. B. But Dr. B did the work. Billy Carson did the work. Joe Dispenza did the work. Why? Because you can tell by their vibration. You can tell by what they teach. It's not so woo-woo. It's woo-woo, but it's grounded woo-woo. It's all interconnected. It's the as above and the below. You can't be above and not be below. You can be below and not be above. We got to be as above, so below. Because why? This is the year of 8. That's what 8 means. We got to be, I am on earth. I am on earth. Not I am. I'm talking I am, but your feet is dangling off earth. And then you don't got no money. How you I am? Yes, you can know intellectually that you I am, but you're not embodying it in your physical. You got to embody it in your physical because this world is a material, physical plane. And no matter if you like it or you don't, you still have to go through it. You think every day I wanted to get up for football at 6 a.m.? That doesn't mean I didn't love it. You think sometimes I want to channel for somebody? Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes you got to get out your way because sometimes you have human emotions. We have human emotions that we have to go through. We got to experience, but we still have to do what we came here to do. That's the resiliency. That's being the I am. You think I am is hearing all these messages from all these humans? Oh, I don't like it here. I'm begging you this. You don't think I am want to hear that? I am of all that is, don't want to hear that. I am wants to hear command, demand. I am don't want to hear begging. They like, they don't know who they are. But the thing about I am is supreme intelligence that it gives you mastery of grace. It gives you mastery of compassion, that it doesn't abandon you. It empowers you. And if you are in your ego, they're going to be in the back seat. You'll see. The physical experience will show you. And then you will come back to me. Hi, I'm all that is. And this is what it did to me too. It was a time on my journey, um, right before my first child came into this reality. Um, I went to Atlanta, um, and I was doing Akashic records, but I wasn't making so much money that I could just live off that I felt like I needed to get a job. I had a voice telling me not to get a job. Why would I not get a job? Why would I not get a job if money is the basic necessity of this living? I had to learn that the voice that was telling me that was not my higher voice. It was the monkey mind voice. So you have to be careful when you want to be in these spiritual spaces, you want to be spiritually connected. You got to know, is that voice you? Is that voice you? Or is that another voice? And these are the things that I had to go through. I've been in my own psychosis. I went to the industry. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting me a job, a job. I'm going to be on earth. I'm not speaking to you guys right now. I own this body. I control this. I'm going to get me a job at FedEx. And that's what I did. And that's what I did. Sometimes you got to be like spirits. That doesn't mean I don't love you. Or spirits. It's not saying I got to find this out my own way right now. I got to figure this out my own way with my own guidance right now. And sometimes we have to go through that. That was me embodying my inner child. That was me acknowledging my inner child. That was me acknowledging that I'm here on earth and I have to be on earth first before I be in the spirit, and then saying that I am Poseidon and then I don't got no money. I just don't resonate with people who do that because it's not serving you. I'm not saying you wasn't even Poseidon, but how was that helping you in this reality? Are you embodying Poseidon in this reality? Because the Poseidon I know is the god of water. You should be having some intuition. You should be having some memory that's going to create money, abundance. So this is the things that I really wanted to touch on while we on this conversation, because a lot of people want to get to these higher spiritual planes or talk to these 13-dimensional beings. These 13-dimensional beings, they don't want to talk to you of how you can create money through your job, your 9-to-5 job. They're not thinking that. They're not in that vibration of that. So why would they help you with that? Why would they want to talk to you? They don't want to talk to you, actually. They want you to talk about some higher frequency so you can meet them where they're at. They're not going to meet you where you at. It's levels. And that's the part of this spirituality. It's levels of things. Some people go down the rabbit hole, go through psychosis, then come back. But how you don't come through psychosis is having a spiritual foundation of yourself humanly and acknowledging your inner child, going through that work so you can embody the masculine, the feminine, and the inner child all at the same time. It's living as your quantum multidimensional self.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. We all got like a mini lesson right here, Adewale. I do want to ask you something though, because this is something that I personally have observed a lot of, and I'm still working through creating my own sort of environment with it. But we have a lot of people in this beautiful community, the spiritual community, let's call it that, where I'm still seeing that there's this aspect of, we're all spiritual, we have all this knowledge, and we're kind of like almost like you said, floating a little bit. And it's like reminding ourselves that that's amazing, but we still got to ground ourselves here because we're on earth. We are here and we got to bring it in. So on the one hand, there's the aspect that says, if you're truly someone who is doing your work, you're aligned, you're in your joy, you're following your passions, you're creating the life that you want, and then they don't see the physical abundance in terms of financial, because we know abundance is many different things, right?
Yes.
Financial is
Yes,
just one
correct.
aspect. So
Absolutely.
from your eyes, what is that thing? Because I see this all the time where there are these people who have these beautiful gifts, and there is something that is having the money not flow in. What is it, do you think, that is kind of like a little bit of a block or a challenge? I know I'm kind of opening it up. I know there's individual situations, but I see this all the time. And I'm almost feeling like there's so many of us here now that are here to kind of shift that system of the old way of making money and what's the new way of making money. That's just my thought, but I would love to get your insight.
What I feel is some people lack the confidence or they lack value of currency. And let me go deeply into that. The lack of confidence, you have the lack of confidence in yourself. So people want to, hey, peace and light. Can you send a donation base? Or can you send me 33? You're not even confident in asking someone about your value of your gift. So why would people value your gift? Because you're not embodying your value, your gift. And I see that's the key element with some people. I won't even say donation base ain't even good. It might be good for some people, but when you're timid of asking somebody for donation basis of you giving the energy exchange, that's why your money is not flowing, because you don't see the value of the gift and what you are doing. I want to touch on something Earl Nightingale said that it really sparked something of why I am so confident with the Akashic records. We value things as in this planner that I have. We value this planner, this phone, this camera, more than the things we got for free. We got our mind for free. We have so much information in our mind. We have so much information in our heart for free. We can walk, we can talk, we can dance for free. And people don't see the value of that. That if they feel like if the material break, they don't hold no value. So when I heard that, it made me embodying the things that you don't value that you get for free. I got the Akashic records for free when I was 3 years old. That is infinite knowledge of all. That is the book of life. This got information that the Bible don't have. Why would I not value that? How is that not a priceless value? How can I not get paid $300 for an hour how I should get paid $300 for an hour with that? That's not cocky. That's not being in my ego. It's a value because I'm about to give you knowledge that the $300 that you're about to pay is going to make you that you can make more money than what you just paid for me. And it keeps me good because I can pay my bills. That's embodying being here on earth. Energy exchange, proper energy exchange. If I help you, you pay for something. If you help me, I pay for something. Sometimes it's in money, sometimes it's in something else, but it needs to be a value. It needs to be an asset, not a liability. And this is the thing that I feel like a lot of people in this space go through, of the lack of value of their gifts, and then they're not embodying money, the concept of money, the psychology of money. You got to be able to talk about money. People that have money, they love talking about money. They have conversation about money at the dinner table. But some people in the spiritual space, I'm hesitant. I don't want you to know that I only got $15 in my account. No, you actually need to let me know, yo, I only got $15 in my account. If you can help me, feel free. If you're not, I'm here to live my purpose. Because the more you embody that piece, the purpose, the passion, the money has to follow. They're not embodying and having an unwavering faith and action with the purpose, that you are not valuing the purpose. You are timid with the purpose. So now the universe is being timid with you, because what you are, you think. So what you are being, you are attracting into your reality. So these are the things that I see in the spiritual space, that I used to do this stuff too. I'm not a person that I used to be timid to talk about my money. I didn't even like to look at my bank account. But then I met my woman that is really good with money, that understands the mastery of money. And she had me to get this book called The Science of Getting Rich. And once I learned about the science of getting rich, abundance is moved in a certain way. It's a natural state of being. And once I learned that, I start embodying that, more clients start to come that I haven't even talked to. They talk about, I have clients telling me, hey, I see you in my dream. They told me I had to learn from you. What? Why? Because spirit is supporting me on my journey, because I'm embodying my purpose. You don't think infinite intelligence know you need money? You don't think infinite intelligence know you got to do things? They know. They know everything. So the more we embody this in our human form, the more the money can flow. And when I say money, abundance is energy. Money is energy. But if you don't like that energy, why would that energy be in your pocket? You don't love it. So why would it love being in your pocket? So these are the things that I have to go through, that I feel like some people are still working through in their stages of, you have to understand money. You have to understand sales. You have to understand communicating. You have to understand confidence. And that's part of being on earth. That's the earthly process you have to do with the spirituality. If you don't got the earth and you just got the spirituality, you're limited. If you got the earth and you don't got the spirituality, you're limited. You got the spirituality and not the earth, you're limited. When you got both, you're unlimited. You got to use both, not just one or the both. I can't just be in my masculine. I got to be in the masculine, then I got to be in my feminine. Then I got to be in my inner child. It's a time, it's a place for everything. Sometimes you got to be dark. Sometimes you have to be dark. That's not to say that dark is bad. That's a human concept. Sometimes you got to be Mr. Smith because Neo is very powerful. Neo needs a challenge. And then once Neo see that challenge, Neo start to see, I am Mr. Smith. I am Mr. Smith. So now once I embody Mr. Smith, become one with Mr. Smith, I am in oneness. And this is what the Matrix movie is trying to show us. Be okay with your darkness and your light. It's not about being good or bad. That is a human construct. It's just some things, it's just what it is. It is what it is. So I know that was a lot, but that's what I wanted to say.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And like I said, this is what I love about like co-creating with people, because that was a really big message. And I think there are a lot of people, including myself, that needed to hear, because I think a lot of us are in that space. And, it kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier, Adewale, is this is part of that inner work. This is part of the inner work. We got to look at the shadows. We got to look at like, what are the things that we still haven't looked at, that we haven't worked through, and really looking at this piece of our relationship with abundance, not just financial, but in all areas, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
such an important conversation. Thank you for bringing all that through, because I think a lot of people are going to receive, including myself, for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been an amazing conversation. I love the flow and I love how this is going because I feel like it's going to help so many.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And you and I feel like we just keep talking and diving into all kinds of things, but I also want to be very respectful and mindful of your time. Um,
Absolutely.
but I did want to ask, just because I saw it on your site, I saw that you will be also doing a podcast in the not so distant future. Do you want to share anything about that?
Yes, I am. So I'm going to be creating a podcast of you see. I want to help people to see. I want you to see spirituality in different human experiences of how it happens to all of us. A lot of people don't like woo-woo, but for me, I love woo-woo. It's all that is. And the more we embrace the woo-woo as humans, what are we capable of doing as a human? So I want to bring awareness of people who's in the football space, the athlete space, the entertainment space, the music space, just regular space of them tapping into their spirituality and how it changed their whole reality. Because the more we bring awareness to this is us embracing who we all are at a core, and that is I am. We are all I am. We're moving to a planetary shift of I am. And if you're not embodying I am, it's going to be a little bit anxiety. It's going to be a little bit of, feel stuck. It's going to be a little bit of, what is going on? I'm feeling this, but I don't know what this is. Or if you believe you're I am, then knowing I am is a difference. I don't believe I am. I know I am. I know I am. And I'm embodying I am. And I don't care who's believe it or not that I am. That's not for me to control. It's for me to control what I feel and what I know. And I know that I am. Because I know what I am showed me. I know what I am talked to me about. I am wouldn't lie to me. I am is not a liar. I am is a lot of things, but I am is not going to lie. And I am is not going to allow anyone to spiritual bypass things. So if I wasn't in integrity, I wouldn't be able to say these things to you right now. So these are the things that I feel like I'm so grateful that I'm going on, I'm experiencing, and I'm a vessel to just express this because so many people needs this because we're going through a grand awakening. This is not Adewale, you just going, it's the planet. It's the multiverse. Earth is going to a universal conscious in a way that has never been before. That's why we are incarnated here on the age of Aquarius, because the humans becoming more conscious in a way it's never been before. So this is an exciting time. But you have some people like, I'm tired. I don't like Earth. So you're being in the vibration of people, things that don't like Earth. I don't want to be around people that don't like Earth. I love Earth now. I want to be a people that is embracing Earth. I want to be around people who are making good money on Earth. I want to be around people who got resources on Earth. I want to be around people that have access on Earth. Why? That's being God. I want to be God. I want to embody God. Why? That's living abundantly. That's living life in freedom and not having anybody control me or have an energy that they can hold over me. So this is the thing that I feel like I'm going through, that we're all being called to really have self-realizing about, so we can move all in this new way of oneness.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it so much, Adewale. And if I haven't told you before, like I so enjoy like your social media content. You just have this, it's like a personality, a vibe, a playfulness. Like it's just such beautiful energy. So I'm really excited that everyone that's going to be tuning into this podcast gets to connect with you, get to really hear your story, right? Because it just really helps people kind of understand like how you journey to get to where you're sitting today. And there's so much more to explore, but it's like it's so beautiful to be able to share these experiences. And just want to remind all of my beautiful listeners that are going to be tuning in, there's so much more to Adewale, and we didn't even get to most of those things, but you can go and check out his bio, go to his website, check out everything that he's up to. And as we're kind of getting ready to wrap up, I just wanted to invite you, Adewale, if you're feeling inspired to share anything with this beautiful audience that's going to tune in, whatever that is, whether that's, something from the record, something astrology, light language, whatever feels good to you to share.
I will share a collective message from the Akashic records of all that is. Okay. Akashic of all that is open. Hello, everyone. We want to give you guys a collective message to help you guys of what we are going through here on Earth. You see, we're going through a deep shift of consciousness as we speak right now through Adewale. We're going through a shift of who we think we are. We're going into a level of what we know we're supposed to be in this reality. Some of you are going to be going through some very expensive things of abundance coming to your field, people coming to your field, love coming to your field. And some of you who are single, things of people come into your field of who you're supposed to be will come into this reality. But we also want to bring awareness. Some people are be going to a lower dimension of field, of density, of not embodying I am. And some of them are going to go onto a new earth plane. When I say new earth plane, it's going to be an old earth plane. So this planetary shift, it is going to create different earths. It's going to be a 5D earth. It's going to be a 3D/4D earth. But these are two different earths. These are all things that a lot of the channelers that talk to us is saying, like a person like Bashar. It's us going into what we know we're supposed to be. If you don't know who you are, you're going to a timeline, you don't know who you are. But with this new earth, this entity, because this planet is a consciousness, it's going to a different level where it's embodying the feminine essence of itself, that is moving, that we be more into our spirituality, that we be more into our intuition, we be more into our creativity. So anybody that feels like they need to leave their job, and when I say leave their job, not just leave it right now, but you feel called when the time is right to move and be in the purpose and be in the passion, do so. You feel called to write books, do so. You feel called to, if you was a football player and you want to be a football coach and you want to give back, this is the time to serve for everyone. It's time to serve yourself and to others, because the more we serve ourselves and for others, we all can be abundant. We're moving into more of a timeline that everybody is going to be abundant. It will not be no lack. So this is why everybody is going through shifts and revelations of money. This is why people are going through shifts of the value of themselves. So if you feel like you're only $5, you have some works that you need to do. You need to embrace that you don't have a price on you. There's no price on you. You are priceless. The more we all embody this, the more we're going to shift into a different way of consciousness, a different way of being. And I want to also express to you guys, it's okay if you feel like you were supposed to do something 2 months ago. We have here and now. Just be here and now. What can you do here and now? That's all you can control. You cannot go and reverse time, at least not in this reality. So in this reality, we want you guys to be here and now and bring in and do the things that you love. You have a passion in, and you would do 25/8. And you want to be very skillful. If you know anybody that is doing this, observe them, watch them. And if you can, buy from them, get mentorship from them. Find someone who is embodying what you're doing. And if you can't find anyone that is embodying what you want to do, embody it yourself. Be the unicorn. We are being called to be in our independence. We, the people, you see, this is what we're called to be, and this is what we're called to do, so we can embrace this heaven on earth frequency. This is the codes I give to you, and I want to give you guys just some light language. Ekokonia shikon iking kokotonia shikan ikekano. Ekakamania shokonia kekanono nishikin kokokonia akakano. Ekokonoa shikin bakekekania kokokotonia ekakania okokoto ekakania. We are going through a very big shift of consciousness that it might potentially be other beings here on this earthly plane before 2028. I guess you guys will just have to wait to see. We are now complete. We love you guys, and we are now leaving you guys and coming back into Adewale. Okay.
Yay! Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. And you know what I love? The synchronicity of what we were talking about and the information that they brought in again about like money and abundance, and so amazing. And the light language, I definitely felt activated. Like I'm still tingling from listening to that. I'm like, yes, I love when that happens. So I can't wait to see how it will land for other people. But just thank you again so much, Adewale. This was so much fun to co-create with you today. And I'm so excited for this episode to be shared with all my beautiful audience. And just again, thank you so much. And thank you to my beautiful audience for tuning in to these beautiful messages. I hope that there was a lot of information that you're going to receive that you can incorporate and allow yourself to absorb and elevate with us. We're all here to do this together. So let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm so excited to see how this happens between me and you and how this podcast goes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate this, and I am complete.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. And I can't wait to catch up with my audience on the next episode.
Bye.